Hi, this is Dizzy, and I want to talk about the issue of humanizing serial killers and mass murderers. In the true crime community, I have encountered a lot of people saying, don't humanize serial killers, especially as I talk about this a lot, and I am doing a photo series leading up to the release of the film My Friend Dahmer, based on the graphic novel My Friend Dahmer. Okay? The whole thing of don't humanize is strange to me because they are human. No matter what they did, they're human. They're not plants. Death row is not a greenhouse. They don't just spray water on these plants once they're done doing their killing and we catch them. They're human beings. So there's no humanizing to be done. And if you want to talk about glorification, we can talk about that too. What is art when it comes to serial killers and mass murderers or anything that makes us uncomfortable? Is it glorification? Is it promotion? No. It is usually, when it comes to real serial killers, not fictional ones like Hannibal Lecter, it is usually an exploration of what that person went through when they were doing the unspeakable acts that make so many people call them non-human. If you look into animals, other animals, because human beings are animals, you don't see this kind of behavior. You don't see serial killers. I think the closest thing we've got to that is there's been chimpanzees who have murdered their families. There has been instances of psychopathy in chimpanzees, and I believe that's our closest relative as primates. But I bet a lot of the people who say no, they're just animals, they're not human, probably have a dog resting at their feet that if the house was on fire, they would risk their life to go in and save. So, animal, is that the right term? Let's say monster. Now I'll go ahead and say I believe in monsters. But I believe all monsters are human beings. And I believe most human beings are monsters. And we are savage animals. We are savage creatures. Look, like the coconut crab, our only natural predator is other human beings. So I cannot sit here and say that monster is the wrong word to use. Being a serial killer isn't exactly a civilized thing to do, and I'm not defending it in any way. But saying we cannot humanize them is stupid because they're already human. It's not like we're making furries out of them. They're already human. We're just exploring their mindset. We bring attention to, what will cause someone to do this, what would make someone want to kill in this manner, especially, or do this. And then it makes us think, well, what would make me snap to do something like that? The thing is, most of us would never snap to do something like that. I can't imagine. Hey, maybe my anxiety issues are what's keeping me from being one. Who knows? Anyway, severe psychological damage is usually at the root of serial killing and mass murderers. And the difference is a serial killer kills, has a cooling off period, kills, has a cooling off period. And mass murderers are people like Columbine and other shooters, Elliot Rodgers, that type of stuff. So there's a difference in the mindset between those two that needs to be explored. And as far as Jeffrey Dahmer is concerned, and he was murdered in prison, he showed signs that people caught up on and no one intervened. And to this day, there's no way to intervene. I know people, I would not be surprised if I saw them on the news for shooting the place up. I know people who I think are one snappy comment, one rejection away from completely losing their grip. Nothing I can do about it. I've tried, I've checked, you know. So as long as we keep saying they're not people, they're just animals, they're monsters, we're ignoring the problem, and we're never going to get the numbers down as far as how many active serial killers there are. So, it's hundreds. It's hundreds. I mean, I follow the List case. He's still out there. There's patterns of missing women all over the country, up and down the freeways, man. So, that can't be addressed if we're stuck on, don't humanize humans, because they did something bad. It's stupid, it's juvenile, it's emotional, it's reactive. Now, as far as the death penalty goes, seeing as I am pro-choice and pro-euthanasia, I cannot logically sit here and say, let's kill everybody except the murderers. So, for the sake of logic, let's say hypothetically I am pro-death penalty. If it's very, very, very proven that the crime was committed and no rehabilitation can happen, you know. The same people who do the whole don't humanize serial killers, or they're not human, also will scream, fry them. I mean, when Ted Bundy was executed, there were like a big party. It looked like a tailgating party outside. You know, fry Ted Bundy, you know. And people get real happy when people die. And I just it kind of makes me wonder, well, I mean, I know it's revenge based. It's revenge based, but how much different are you? How much more human are you than the person you're frying? I know we don't use the chair anymore, but how much more human are you if you are cheering on a death than the person who committed multiple homicides? I mean, yeah, you have different reasons. It's based in emotion. It's based in revenge. But how less savage are you? Think about it. And, you know, there's just a whole issue of humans not understanding their own behavior and not understanding what happens to people to make them the way they are is one of the reasons that we have such a high rate of missing people. You know, we have murderers everywhere, and we have constant threats of, you know, someone's going to snap and shoot up a school, someone's going to do this, you know. But, you know, covering our eyes and saying that's not a human does not solve the problem. So, anyway, examine how reactive you are, rather than, you know, look at, when you see like the photos I do, or if you see the movies about serial killers that were real, don't look at it and think, oh, they're glorifying it. Because I can tell you one thing, these movies, a lot of the ones I like, do not glorify the people. But you need to look at the human being and say, why and how did this happen? How can we prevent it? Instead of just getting rage fits at any piece of art that depicts a serial killer. Okay, now that I've talked for almost 10 minutes, I will let you be, and I want you to leave thoughts in the comments, and what are your thoughts on death penalty, etc., and not from just a fiscal point of view. I hope everyone has a good holiday, a good rest of the week, and a good weekend. Bye-bye.